Incredible! China's $1.7 billion Turkish power plant survives devastating earthquake. The greatest coal-fired power plant that China assisted Turkey in constructing was not destroyed by the recent earthquake that struck Turkey. In today's video, we'll be discussing China's $1.7 billion Turkish power plant surviving a devastating earthquake. Not long ago, an earthquake in Turkey alarmed the world and caused significant damage to the local population. Being a friendly cooperative partner of Turkey, China swiftly organized a rescue team to aid it, as well as offered a considerable quantity of material assistance to help Turkey get out of trouble as soon as possible. Yet, several media sources discovered that following multiple earthquakes in Turkey, a big number of structures in the city collapsed overnight. While the largest coal-fired power plant, built in China with $1.7 billion continued to operate normally. Such power plants are built in such a way that earthquakes and other external disasters do not compromise their safety. Following the terrible earthquakes that devastated the region, the Emba Hanutlu power plant, a China-financed thermal power plant in South Turkey's Adana province, has been supplying electricity regularly. In the face of a serious power deficit caused by the big earthquakes, the Emba Hanutlu power plant, located approximately 110 kilometers from the center, has maintained electrical supply for approximately 4 million people in the quake-affected areas. When fully operational, the 1,320 megawatt plant has the capacity to generate 9 billion kilowatt hours of power per year. It is Turkey's first stackless power plant and China's largest ever direct investment in the country. A powerful earthquake that struck southeastern Turkey caused significant damage to the country's electricity infrastructure. The violent 7.7 magnitude earthquake caused extensive damage to infrastructure, mainly in the Kahramanmaraş province, which is considered the earthquake's epicenter. Separately, officials said that 2 vital oil pipelines in a power plant built with Chinese assistance had not been destroyed. According to officials, the quake destroyed hundreds of structures and killed around 1,500 people. Hundreds of people were still feared to be buried beneath the rubble, and the death toll was anticipated to rise as rescue crews searched heaps of wreckage in cities and villages throughout the region. Transmission and distribution networks for electricity and natural gas have been severely damaged. China may be slowing coal-fired power plant building at home, but it is still investing in coal abroad, even as it aggressively pursues renewable energy markets. The type of investments China undertakes in Turkey in the next years will be an important litmus test for its emerging leadership in energy and climate. China's bilateral relationship with Turkey has become stronger in recent years. Xinjiang and Goldwind, both Chinese wind power businesses, were among 8 foreign collaborations that competed in a 1 gigaton wind project tender organized by Turkey's Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources in July. Notwithstanding Turkey's ongoing national state of emergency and political uncertainty as a result of the July 2016 coup attempt, firms, including those from China, have not been discouraged from competing for a part in Turkey's future energy infrastructure. A Chinese engineer inspects the Hanutlu thermal power station after the massive earthquake on February 6, 2023. With the recent massive earthquake and accompanying aftershocks that destroyed portions of the eastern Mediterranean, including Turkey and Syria, Chinese-backed projects have reported just a modest impact. The Hanutlu Thermal Power Station, a major component of China's projected Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, stayed active during and after the earthquake, generating vital electricity when it was needed. China and Turkey have carried out a number of practical cooperation projects in areas such as infrastructure, energy, transportation, digital technology, and finance under the BRI and Turkey's Middle Corridor strategy. Besides the country's earthquakes, the Hanutlu Thermal Power Plant, the largest China-backed coal-fired power plant in Turkey, operated by State Power Investment Company, is safe, according to the firm. Notwithstanding minor damage to auxiliary equipment, the 2 units of the Hanutlu Thermal Power Plant, the country's first thermal power plant without a flue gas stack, have been generating electricity at full capacity, according to the firm. It has provided adequate power supply for anti-quake relief efforts in the country, as earthquakes have led in local power plant outages and power shortages, according to the statement. The Hunutlu thermal power station in Turkey's southern region of Adana began construction on September 22, 2019. It is China's biggest project with direct investment in Turkey, with a total investment of $1.7 billion. Iskenderun is not far from the Hunutlu thermal power station, Turkey's largest China-invested coal-fired power plant, with 2 units of 660 megawatt power producing equipment and a $1.7 billion direct investment. Once construction began in September 2019, the power plant became completely operational in October of last year. The designer of the Hunutlu thermal power station, China Energy Engineering Corporation, or Energy China, sent a statement to the Global Times indicating that the facility was unharmed during and after the massive earthquake due to the dependable quality of made-in-China equipment. Even though 2 adjacent power plants were knocked offline by the quake and tightened electricity supplies in the region, the power plant continues to generate power, providing a secure assurance to aid work in the quake-stricken area. Energy China said in a statement, "The power plant lies near the epicenter of the earthquake, and the engineers' living accommodations were not harmed." Zhang Gulei, a site manager, was among the first Chinese engineers to inspect the power plant's safety amid heavy rain, just after the initial wave of the earthquake passed. Fortunately, the structure of the plant remained sound. The equipment was working, and everything was safe and stable, the statement said. The project crew also gave shelter to relatives of Turkish employees whose homes had been damaged by the earthquake. Energy based on the local context, China's workers' union in Beijing has approached the project site about delivering charity and humanitarian supplies to local employees and people. So far, the immediate impact of the earthquake on certain Chinese enterprises with projects or branch offices in central and western Turkey has been limited. One Power China branch company in Istanbul, which is located relatively far away from the epicenter of the earthquake, stated that they did not feel the earthquake and that everything was normal thus far. Some employees of another Chinese branch company in Aksaray, central Turkey, reported feeling strong tremors on the ground, but there were no reports of injuries or houses collapsing in the area where the project is located. China announced 40 million yuan, or $5.8 million, of emergency assistance to Turkey and the dispatch of a rescue and medical team. It will also provide Syria with emergency aid, according to the China International Development Cooperation Agency. Some Chinese companies also offered help. The Spacety Company, a company based in central China's Hunan province, immediately arranged for its Chaohu-1 satellite to conduct emergency imaging of the earthquake zone. As a different but similar project to the Belt and Road Initiative, Turkey has launched its own middle corridor, regaining its old Silk Road trade route, connecting Asia and Europe through the BRI. The Turkish government believes that incorporating the middle corridor into the BRI will be a win-win strategy for both countries, which agreed to integrate the 2 ventures in 2015. Chinese finance for renewable projects is expected to increase in Turkey in the near future as part of the BRI. China could accelerate the shift to low-carbon power in Turkey by signaling an intention to carry climate leadership into the BRI, rather than pursue high-carbon projects such as Hunutlu. Turkey, with an estimated 100 gigawatts of electric power producing capacity, is Europe's 6th largest energy market and the world's 14th largest. Renewable energy accounts for around 54% of Turkey's electric power generation capacity, which includes hydroelectric, wind, solar, geothermal, and biomass power plants, making Turkey the 5th largest generator of renewable energy in Europe and the 12th largest in the world. Turkey has a big and expanding manufacturing base, which necessitates an increase in power generation. Turkey will most certainly phase out coal power plants before phasing out gas power plants, albeit this will be much later, given Turkey's need to develop additional base-load power facilities to replace current fossil fuel power plants. According to Dong Guanpeng, a professor at Communication University of China, Turkey's Smart Solar Energy Project and the Hunutlu Power Plant Project are undergoing accelerated adjustments to increase the proportion of new energies, such as wind and hydrogen power, to help create a low-carbon production unit. In parallel with the progress made by Turkey on all economic and investment levels, especially in the past 10 years, Chinese investment in Turkey has seen a remarkable rise. accompanied by significant cooperation at the government level between Beijing and Ankara in terms of trade, tourism and industry, and investment in the transport sector. That's all. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to get more videos.